last time on The Great Escape, we left the party in Germany, where you set an ambush for the Butcher of Calais, and you threw my finale plans on its head and left him tied to a toilet, basically half dead. Excuse me. But yeah. Uh, Basically, you wrapped up things in Germany, and you. Oh, go ahead, Marty.
No, nothing. No, nothing.
Okay, but yeah, the party wrapped up things in Germany after meeting up the with NATO forces to return to the United States or to other nations, but the party made the decision to stick together and come back to the US together and continue on and wreak havoc across the US and just be
What? That's the
all
opposite
around
of what we do, or at
crazy
least what
together.
Gorham does.
I wasn't really talking about Gorham. I was talking about Mr. Crazy Polish man and
Hmm. The
his
Soviet
his
splitter.
battle against.
Did you change your big dream to be about like do something to get a bounty?
Ah,
Because remember you were so bitter about that there was a bounty on Gorham but not you.
oh, geez, I don't remember.
Maybe you view
In
it like Grand Theft Auto. It's like big dream, get a 6-star wanted level.
in my big dream, uh, the first one is the same as it always was, but I guess I added get a bigger gun at some point. Um, he's a very simple man
Oh my god.
in every sense of the word.
I admire your simple dreams, Blitz, but but, but yeah, to wrap up keep so I stop ad-libbing and actually get to the point. You wrapped up things in Germany. You dealt with a who I thought was gonna be a bigger villain of the original arc, but was a very just funny one-off guy who got captured very funnily. He wasn't a big villain at all. Um,
Oh, you're referring to the
Left
guy
him
that
chained
that
to
I
a
one
toilet.
shot and yeah, okay.
Yeah. Mm. You wrapped up things in Germany. You left with the Sixth Fleet, and yeah, it has been. Taken like a couple weeks to get back to the United States, and yeah,
So
you
many
are now
weeks,
officially
so
back
many
in the
weeks
United
full of
States.
jokes like a bunch of like shark themed. Because like, because one of the ones that Gorham tells, at least just kind of like keeping the tradition right alive from when we were driving. She's like, I'll never forget when one of my best friends in high school told me he had a half brother. I asked, was it different mothers or different fathers? He said neither. Shark attack.
Damn, that happened to my buddy Eric one time.
Your buddy Eric got attacked by a shark. Gorham asks.
Yeah, it was. Oh man,
Polish sharks, man, I can't even imagine.
yeah, they're everywhere. You got to be careful. Can't even go out into the woods these days.
Reminds me of that fucking movie that Emily and I noticed on Amazon Prime, Sharks of the Corn.
Hmm.
Oh my god.
Well, and then the last one Gorm shares on that line of topics is like, yeah, well, I mean, it's funny you mentioned that because a few years ago, my dad, grandfather, grandma, and I took a family vacation to the nearest beach in Texas. There was a guy in the water who was all like, "Help, shark, help!" Which I found confusing because I wasn't expecting that shark to help him.
Yeah, I mean, he stopped screaming.
Well, she's like, I mean, the shark didn't help him. A lifeguard did, but still not sure why he was trying to ask the shark to help him in the first place.
Emily, you want to reach your arm around your back and just smack yourself on the back real quick. Get it all settled.
Yeah, and also because we've been, and then I swear this last one, so also because if we're traveling with the Navy, you know how they use SEALs as their special forces troops, right? Personally, I think sharks would work better. I don't know why you'd train a SEAL as special forces.
Isn't that funny?
What?
I said, God. I said, that's not that funny of a joke, but I'm over here cracking up like I'm dying. I am. I'm not in the right state of mind right now. But I'm gonna push through because I love this group.
The best part about like being in a slightly altered state of mind is that sometimes the joke doesn't even have to be like fantastic. Sometimes just knowing that a joke is being told is enough to get you going.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. I'm sitting here dying laughing. I'm crying from listening to these like dad jokes, man. It's making
The
my
list
day.
greatly expanded between sessions, is all I'll say.
Oh God.
I love that.
If we got Batman, we need the Joker.
Well, wait, who's Batman in this case? Because I know Arthur was Batman. Oh, are you referring to his Booze Man persona?
You know what? Honestly, there's so many different Arthurs that they tend to get mixed together a little. The only
Imagine
Yeah,
if it
one
was
with
one
there's
of
a
those like
different
sci-fi
Arthurs.
shows where there are different like universes, and then like all the Arthurs gather for a drink. In my
man.
universe,
This is
I'm
an Arthur as
Batman.
well.
In in my universe, I make the alcohol instead of drinking it.
In my universe, I'm sober. Get the fuck out.
That one's not
All
welcome here.
right. All right. So, yeah, it'll take about like a week and a half, about 2 weeks. So you'll get back in the United States June 15th. And, just for ease of access, they'll dock and they'll take you into Washington, D.C.
Are we able to, because
I,
Gorm arranged this before with that major, are we able to sort of smuggle the gold out and make sure that's squared away so we all get
yeah,
paid?
I
Okay.
was, I was actually going to ask you, like, is on one of, like, my points that I wrote down, because I knew I wasn't going to remember otherwise, like, what are you going to do with your gold? Because I was already imagining, like, a la, like, end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, like, what if you have this giant fucking crate of gold, like, what are you, doing with it
Um.
when you,
Well, let me think, because I think I
We should
put
buy an
this.
when
island.
you disembark?
Yeah. So yeah, because I put it in text of the three things Gorm wanted to secure for herself and her friends. Proper citizen and such for Martin, Arthur, and well, Henrik. Is Henrik still with us?
Yes, I've wrote
Okay,
that down as
yeah,
token.
and Henrik. So the three of them, proper citizenship set up, um, and then extra transportation for anybody who just wants to go straight home when we get in DC. Which I think Edwin and Rabbit Robert were the ones who wanted to hitch a ride home and then didn't want to stick around, and then getting set up with a bank so we can get the gold off
Yeah,
our hands and get paid for it. So those were
Mm.
the three conditions that Gorham set to provide our help, and the major agreed to those.
yeah.
Washington, D.C. Is that where we're at?
Mm-hmm.
My God, is this place a shithole? It's probably better now that it's been nuked.
Well, it hasn't been nuked.
They didn't nuke Washington, D.C. out of all the places.
Well, I mean, yeah, because I
Well,
was talking about this with Emily. Like according to the player's manual, they make numerous mentions of Washington as if it's still there.
Huh.
yeah.
Like you figure most
Well,
of the
like
nuclear.
that's the thing. Like
Oh, sorry.
like in the manual, it says that it toxic's still there, but if you talk to like the hardcore like Milsim bros and the server, it's like, oh yeah, they would like nuke the hell out of DC. It's a nuclear hellscape. You can't go there. Which, if going by older editions, they nuke like everywhere that has like every military base and like like big point of like interest in the US, but it just for ease of access because you're landing here. It's been damaged, but it's not a nuclear like crater.
Hmm.
Yeah, because the thing is that like with
Just
nuclear war, you have to understand that it's like the goal isn't to wipe out all life on Earth; it's to prevent the enemy from doing more damage to you. So
Yeah, but
you
I
target
don't know. I
things
mean,
like power plants, nuclear silos, military bases, that sort of thing.
maybe they didn't nuke Washington, D.C. because they knew that the United States would be better off if it was nuked.
I think it was established that New York might have been hit by some, even if it wasn't a nuke and ICBM, because we established early on that you know Trump got taken out the same way that Krennic got taken out by the Death Star.
all right, made that comment.
Yeah, well, I mean whether it's a whether it was a
Never
nuke or
fully
just like an
agree.
ICBM.
Yep. But yeah, New York is definitely off limits in at least my version of events, but
That's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
I went to my tower. I walked in. I said, "Wow, you guys fucked this up. It's all blown up. I don't like it."
Well, no, in the
but
the
yeah,
case of the
like
hotels, like luckily no lives were lost because no one was staying at the hotel.
yeah, but yeah, for terms of this campaign, like there has been some obvious damage like from you know, like fighting that has been taking place like on US soil, like not from the conflict in Europe, but from like internal like fights. But besides that, like there has been no like attacks in DC. It's fairly like still it's still
Intact.
intact besides, you know.
It's funny how there's a Frederick and a Fredericksburg.
That's his burg.
There's a lot of burgs around here. Harrisonburg, Harrisburg, Leesburg, Fredericksburg,
But
Blacksburg,
yeah.
Lynchburg.
I don't like. I don't.
Like Oran's like, it reminds me, it's been so long since I've had a burger.
There's plenty around here.
Oh God, she says, you know what I just realized? Is hamburger meat made of people from Hamburg?
No,
All right, good.
it's made out of people from Fredericksburg.
Okay. Okay, let me go to my checklist because I realize I've just been sitting here staring at the map as we point out the weird
Staring at
naming
Beijing.
convention of towns. Basically, okay. So you've been at sea for 2 weeks. I'm sure you're all, very desperate to stretch your legs, and you have ample time to do that. Okay.
Probably
So,
scurvy.
um, as it was stated at the end of the campaign, you were unable to take your T-72. I think it was a T-72,
Yeah, it
but
was a T-72.
you weren't able to take the tank with you, unfortunately. It had to be left behind because it was, too heavy and
It's a
whatnot.
fucking tank.
However, it's a big goddamn tank.
Well, hold on. Well, hold on.
Enough
Wait.
said.
Do they have like an air container or a cargo ship, or is it just like
Um,
typical like destroyers and stuff?
they're just like destroyer
Oh.
ships. But yeah. Yeah, so you no longer have access to the tank. However, to like recognize you like for what you've done for for everything you did and for your help. And also because, I think you have enough I think you have between the party and the NPCs, I think you need another vehicle. You are allowed they are going to give you like another party vehicle to
We
take
just
with
hit
you.
up like a Toyota dealership.
Well, hold on. So we have the liquor cabinet and the tragic school bus, which the liquor cabinet holds 7, and the tragic school bus holds 5.
Oh, you do still have the liquor cabinet? I thought you left that behind. Never mind then.
No, we
Then you
didn't.
still have the liquor cabinet with you. That's the GM forgetting.
No, that's fine.
Okay. Then
I mean, if
I
they
was
want
just
to,
covering my
yeah,
bases because I couldn't remember exactly. But
yeah,
yeah,
they want to give us a new tank,
so
but
that's-
I doubt
Yeah,
that's
can we have
gonna
an
happen.
Abrams?
that's off the table for now. But we'll talk about that down the line, possibly.
You know,
All that's still overseas.
Or
No.
make a reference to John and Broken Arrow, get us an assault breacher.
there's lots of like monuments around, right? We're in Washington. There's probably like at least an M60 gathering dust, out in front of something. Be funny if we could like just steal a
What
Sherman or
makes you
something
think
from a
we want to
museum.
settle for that and not go to like a National Guard museum and steal an M16 patent?
I mean, we could do that. Is
They
any
may even
is
have
anyone gonna stop us?
Probably the
probably
people that own the patent.
yeah, or the entire bulk of U.S. forces that just came back to the United States.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm gonna veto that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Might be a problem if we drive up in the fucking Ural Russian truck and try stealing from the National Guard. They might look at that with suspicion.
I like your gumption, but I'm gonna have to say no for now about getting another tank or an APC. Okay, but yeah, you have the liquor cabinet and the tragic school bus then as your party vehicles. And the tragic school bus is like the up armored like UAZ that
No,
the
the tragic school
Humvee
bus. Yeah,
or
the
like
Humvee.
yep. Okay.
The Humvee that's
Okay.
impervious to bullets now. I mean, only like 50
Okay.
cal bullets have a chance at penetrating it.
Okay, so 2 weeks at sea, party vehicles been dealt with. Okay. We did the gold. I'm going down my checklist. Okay. Right. Just a couple other things. All right. Okay. So we dealt with the party vehicles, and I'll say it's like noon now. All right. So, uh, so yeah. Once you've settled down, you've got everything in order. You've arranged for the gold to be taken away, and money to be paid into an account. I have to Google how much like that gold was actually worth because the
Yeah.
amount I gave you, I think all of you were basically millionaires now. You don't have to worry about money anymore.
Yeah, let me see.
Once
We had
once the whole currency
740.
thing, yeah. they're like your stereotypical like gold knocks, Fort Knox, like
Gold.
gold bar.
So there's the Admiral Rampage.
You're welcome. I'm glad my I'm glad my silly brain can bring you ha-has. But yeah, once the whole currency thing and gold standard bullshit and price U.S. dollar whatever it what it means again stabilizes, you're gonna be set for life basically. Okay, all right, but yeah, once you've all been settled, like for now you're all given like basic lodging at basically a National Guard kind of like bunkhouse. You were
How generous of them.
all, I know, right? Least they could do for all the shit you did for them in Europe. But yeah, you were all ushered into SUVs and you were all taken down to uh Virginia, Langley, Virginia, to speak to the CIA, to the the last acting head of the CIA. So
Where
just
where in Virginia?
I'm gonna forget exactly because I googled
Because you
it, but I
said
forget it
like
where exactly on the
Langley,
map.
but I don't see it on the map.
Sorry, you're saying Langley?
Yeah, like
Langley
where
is
the
like
CIA like headquarters is.
yeah, so Langley is like right outside Washington.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you for someone who knows the map better because I remember looking it up, but I don't remember exactly. But yeah, you're
All so
escorted and
basically every federal agency is headquartered right around Washington D.C., either
okay,
in D.C. or right in the suburbs.
thank you.
I've been there a lot. It's a creepy place.
I'm
I
not even gonna ask
I
why.
promise you I promise you I did actual like research, but that has gone out the window since I don't. It's funny, but yeah. So yep, you're shuttled over there. You're shown inside. You know, wait, is the Pentagon the CIA? I want to make sure
The
now.
Pentagon is like the Department of Defense.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, their security
Oh
is
my
terrible.
god.
There's a Taco Bell at the center of the Pentagon. I'm not making that up.
Being sick is being extremely stupid. And I'm laughing at my own stupidity. But yeah, you're shown to the CIA building. You're not taking this to the Pentagon. I make myself laugh just how
So
out of
anyway,
pocket
the
stupid it is.
CIA.
Yes.
I mean, is it like the CIA headquarters or just like a safe house?
The headquarters.
Oh,
It's got a big sign that says CIA.
don't tell anybody is the the caption next to it.
Yeah. Right below, it just says right here. And then a bunch of arrows like pointing at the front door.
Oh god. But yeah, you're shuttled over to the CIA building. You're escorted inside, and you're all like brought into, you know, interview room. I don't have a map for this, so we'll just use like theater of the mind for it. And and walks in, guy in a, very nice suit, well nice for the times. He'll sit down, he'll say, it's nice to meet all of you. I am Brian McCarthy. I am the last acting head of the CIA. It's nice to meet all of you. Um, my sources tell me that I've been in contact with some of the CIA bunkers that you've interacted with while you were in Poland. I just want to interview, all of you and, just touch base with everything that that you dealt with while you were in, overseas. I have a couple questions for you.
All right, shoot, Gorm says.
Yep.
Are we
Okay.
being all interviewed at the
So-
same time, or is it one on one?
Just all at the same time.
Okay.
Just for. Okay.
Gather
Yep.
around at the table. This is probably the first time
So-
we've had like access to like office chairs.
Probably.
Yeah, well here's Gorm then. In Great Escape chat.
I certainly hope no one's tied you to the chair like you're a hyperactive child, but
Well, no, she's not tied to the chair. She's just having like, I mean, she'll eventually stop if asked to, but she's just having a little bit of fun as she usually does.
CIA's got to put her on a leash.
yeah.
Like they're CIA handlers, and then they bring out the CIA handler. Down, bad. Get down. No, don't touch that.
Okay, I put down that note and then notes and images channel, and I'll get a character image for him after the session. But yeah, okay, yeah. So he'll just go down the line, like asking. I'll start with, just introduce yourselves. He'll look at you, Blitz. He'll look at you, Arthur. We actually use the character name. Who are you exactly? Just state your name for the record.
Oh, Artur Mock Douglas. Yeah, I'm a Polish guy.
I am just a simple Polish country dude.
Yeah.
Of course.
During the day,
And
but at night, I'm booze man.
and you, Miss, look over at you, Gorham.
And she, introduces herself. I mean, even offering a handshake. It's like, Hillary Gorham, fabulous to be meeting you. Fabulous indeed.
Yep, of course. He'll, accept this handshake. Look over at you, Martin.
And Martin and just introduces himself like with a thick Dutch accent.
Very nice to meet you.
I am Martin Willems, and I come from Europe over to the unit, Carol.
You need a tissue?
Yeah.
Get this man some Mucinex.
Very nice to have you.
I hear Germany's lovely this time of year.
And Martin mumbles something about accepting immigrants and then just steps back.
He'll look over at you next, Megas. And you are?
Ray Sparks.
Mr. Sparks. Nice to meet you. And last but not least,
Corporal Travis Austin. We still have the quorum here, guys. So like, we were supposed to give our ranks or something.
I just forgot mine.
Yeah, if we were supposed to introduce by like rank as well, Gorm would have given her rank as sergeant. So
yeah, that's
Or
what I'm
it's just
assuming.
the fact that we've just been so out of like a
The command
proper
structure, yeah.
military. It's just like
mildly
this guy's
military.
just like, all right, these guys are the cannon fodder units.
yeah, Mr. Yep, yeah, Travis. Very nice to meet you, and very nice to meet you all.
Are the
You know,
NPCs in the room
heard
as
through the
well?
grapevine. Yeah, they'll also introduce
All right.
themselves, and you can add in any you know extra info about them you want to. Any extra comments or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, you hellos and introductions all around. And McCarthy, he'll say, right. Um, so first off, I want to say thank you for all of your actions in Poland. I've heard through the grapevine that you were, you know, uh, did great work, especially you, Gorham, but all around, helped with, starting to do, bring about some peace over there. You, helped us
Well, I
score.
will say right quick that Gorham actually being the humble heroine that she is, she says, well, I mean, doesn't give all the credit to me. It was a team effort.
Of course, yeah, and yeah, like I said, just thank you all again for everything you did. Um, obviously it's gonna take some time, but you know, uh, actually, getting peace over there, beginning. Probably we could get that over here now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
well, about that, what exactly is going on over here? Because I haven't been back in the U.S. for the past 4 years, so.
mhm. Oh boy, that's a that's a long, long story. But yeah. So since well, basically since the new draft began, um, many states and many people were very dissatisfied with that. Because the dissatisfaction with people being drafted. Um, this has led to the president declaring martial law. That is why you've no doubt noticed, or soldiers and whatnot, you know, patrolling the streets, curfews, whatnot, or
Which
checkpoints.
which one of them is Marshall?
God damn it, Blitz.
Gorham smirks and offers you a fist bump.
And I'm like real confused as to why you're doing that. It's a genuine question.
Well, I mean, well, to her it came off as like her brand of humor, so.
uh, McCarthy will just look at you for a second, Arthur, before continuing.
A look of utter disdain.
Yeah, but yeah, um, yeah. So across most of the U.S., martial law and curfews, increased, military you know, more troops in the state and just patrol to ensure people are following the law. This has led to a break between um, the civilian government and the military government. Um, this has also led to uh, I write this down because it's a thing from like for an earlier edition of Twilight 2000 that like Texas is like kind of declared itself independent, become the nation of Texas.
Truly is the Lone
I
Star
just wrote
State.
it down. It's just so ridiculous. Yeah.
Hmm.
And then I wrote that down, and then I remembered like I think like part of the party, like I think two like members of the party were like from Texas. Like that's funny.
Odds are, if Texas is independent, it's invading Oklahoma.
But yeah, yeah, basically dissatisfaction with the way that President with the way President West handled things and is handling things has led to tension between several states. This has led to Texas declaring itself independent and the nation of Texas, and several other states are joining its kind of little bubble. The last the last check, look at a map of the U.S. to embarrass myself. I've already done that enough today. Yeah. Yeah. As of this year, Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and Arkansas and Mississippi, they have all become like the
They've seceded from
that's
the U.S.
essentially
Can
they're
you list
become
those
the
states in
nation
the
of
group
Texas.
notes?
Yep.
Have they joined a sort of confederation?
It's not yet, but they've declared basically that this is a new nation.
So
So
they're their own nation, or just like their own nations, plural, like independent completely.
Gorham asks a couple of questions. I mean, she kind of raises her hand and waits for, uh, him to kind of acknowledge that before she starts going off.
Can you clarify what you mean?
Well, I mean,
I'm
she's
sorry.
basically like raising her hand like, a kid in school, like
No, I
asking a
mean
question.
like Blitz's question.
Oh,
Sorry,
sorry.
Oh.
Cody.
So like are all of those states like independent on their own, like, oh, this is the nation of Texas, this is the nation of Mississippi, or are they like joining up together?
Like they formed their own nation collectively.
Like they're collective together. They
I
just
see.
they're under one banner of nation of Texas.
That didn't go
If that
so
makes
well
sense.
last time.
It's not like the Confederacy. They haven't completely said fuck it.
Oh no, the ones we have to be careful for is the Mormons.
They,
You
they
don't want to know
actually
about the
would,
Mormons.
if
They're
anyone's
doing
gonna
something wicked.
something wicked,
This is a
like
time for them to establish the Deseret.
wicked as in like a sick skateboard maneuver, or wicked as in
Evil.
like dragging people into the streets and skinning them alive.
Or ice.
Huh?
I'm not even joking. They killed another person today.
Oh my god.
Oh, I saw that already. Yeah. Spelled Louisiana wrong. But
Petition to
looking
make
right
the
at it.
exterminations from Hasbin Hotel illegal event. All in favor? And it starts with ice. Okay. Anyway. So, but yeah, the Gorham. I mean, am I able to ask the questions that I had?
Yeah, of course.
Well, the first thing Gorham asked me, because she's hearing all these like states like Texas and stuff, and with her home state bordering Texas, she's like, do you know what the status of Arizona is by chance?
The last we knew about Arizona, it's well, lost. That's Nevada. Never mind. I was about to say something that's objectively wrong. It's holding together. It's kind of again under martial law, like most of the other states, but nothing really bad has happened to Arizona.
She gushes a huge sigh of relief and then says, per her other questions, she says, "So you're saying that there's a civilian government and then a military government. Does the CIA favor either side? Like, are you still loyal to the original government, or have you pledged allegiance to West?"
Currently, the CIA, we are favoring the original government.
Oh, thank God, Gorm
Um,
says.
yeah. What West has done is
So not cool. Is that the phrase you're looking for?
well, yeah, West has done many important things. Um, I mean, I forget, like, out of character question. You, so I remember you found the documents from the downed Black Hawk in Poland. Um, you didn't tell the CIA that you had read the documents before you handed them over, correct?
I believe the plan. Well, yeah, we read the. I remember. So we read the documents just so we knew what was in them in advance. Um, and then, so the documents were in a locked case, like a briefcase.
Yes.
Um, we opened the case, and obviously it's just like a fucking like Manila folder, right? So, it's just a case of just
Yeah.
peel it open and read what's inside. And then we were going to decide based on what was in it that we would decide whether to hand it over to Hendrix or not. And then I don't remember what was in it specifically, um, but we did hand it over to Hendrix.
Yeah. Let me go back because I believe I wrote this down. But yep, the DOS. Yeah, I actually wrote it down. If
I
you go
think
back
part of
to
it was
the
just
images
more
and notes
slate, like
channel,
Operation Clean Slate locations, but
yes,
if there was something else, I don't remember what it was.
yep. In the images and notes channel
Oh, I
in
see
the
it.
Great
Yeah,
Escape, there is the dossier information. Yep.
let me pull it up.
It also, yeah, the information also, like, it indicated that that higher ups within the U.S. Army did not share the information that the DIA and CIA shared with them in time to prevent the loss of life from uh, Operation Reset. The CIA knew it was going to fail, and the Army did not. You know, the higher ups in the military did not pass that information in time to stop Operation Reset from
Hmm.
failing, essentially.
Okay. I'm not saying this in like a harsh way, but just out of confusion, why is this relevant?
I was just double checking because I was gonna make a comment about him asking information, but I couldn't. If you had said like you know about it or not, I just didn't want to
Well, about what specifically? Operation Reset, Operation Clean Slate, or something else?
like clean slate and then like reset like basically you guys knowing that basically just never mind. I
Well,
couldn't remember a detail exactly.
we would have
Like
known about both because I mean, assuming it was sort of like
yeah,
pre-game, it was sort of a standard Twilight 2000 situation. The infamous "good luck, you're on your own now." Failed offensive, and then we were openly working for the CIA in dealing with the clean slate bunkers and also giving them more information that we found. So Gorm is
yeah,
just straight up that we already knew about both courtesy of our association with the CIA, and she specifically name drops Hendrix just so, well, Hendrix and Kleber
yeah,
just so it kind of supports our case. Because it's one thing to say like, oh, we worked for the CIA. It's another thing to say, we worked with the CIA, and here are these two agents that you can either ask or, well, they can't ask Kleber, but um,
yeah,
reference them in your like database as known agents. So it's more apparent that we're telling the truth.
yep. I just need to like clarify something I couldn't remember exactly. Sorry, overcomplicated things,
No,
but
it's fine.
yeah. But okay, so there's that. Yeah, to answer your question. Yeah, the CIA, we are on the side of, the old, government. Um, President West has made decisions that are very, un-American. He is the last acting U.S. president, and getting removing him from power is at this time impossible. However, there are several members of the old government who could replace him, but they are scattered.
And the
Uh,
CIA is telling us this?
yes.
That's your fucking boss.
Well, it goes to show how bad of a boss he is. That I mean, the vibe I'm getting from him is that he's gone like full on despot. I mean, am I pretty accurate on that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm eternally thinking, don't don't mix the game with actual real life, because
Yeah, I mean, ice hasn't been invented yet.
but yeah. But yeah, basically to answer your question, because you did ask, like, are you, like, are they on the side of President West, or do
Yeah,
they
because I
support,
mean, there's
like,
no like
the old
I need to
government?
establish that way up front before we try to strike any deal to them, because it's like if they're loyal to the current government, then I'm not gonna ask them any kind of questions that would paint us as possible enemies.
Yep.
Like, we're not gonna say like, so what's the
That-
plan for defeating him or something, and then like they either don't say anything, they arrest us, or they seemingly comply, but then they give word to West. That kind of thing. That's why I wanted to
mhm.
make sure whose side they were on.
Yep. Perfectly fine. That I realized was also a conversation we needed to have, and I also needed to do a little bit more research, because that was never a thing I understood about the older editions of Twilight 2000. The thing of, like, CivGov versus MilGov, about, like, who's supposed to be, like, who's the good guy in the situation,
None of
because it
them
always
are in
confused me.
the old one.
Yeah.
Like, you also got Mexico invading Texas and California right now.
They're what?
Yeah, the Mexicans were allied with the Soviets in the original edition.
Wow, they would get their shit pushed in.
Yep. And in the first edition, they're basically only having raiding forces, and they only made some ground because the National Guard is all that's left.
It's cute that they're trying to invade the U.S. Pancho Villa tried it, didn't work out well for him.
But yeah, welcome to a U.S. campaign. MilGov versus CivGov. Which
So,
side are you on?
well, Gorham's always been on
Either.
the
But
side of
You all
democracy.
suck.
But yeah,
Um,
back to the
I'm
game.
gonna ask
Sorry.
him, the agent that we're talking to. She says, so if you want him gone, what is stopping you from, you know, assassinating him or sending, or like, obviously I'm in favor of restoring democracy, but what is it that's making him so untouchable?
Yeah. You did it before with JFK. What's stopping you this time?
Um. Well, let's see. He, he has all the, you know, most of the military leaders that are still here. Uh, they all work for him. All the, soldiers here answer to him. And
Yeah, I suppose that's a good
you
point.
know,
Gorham says that she kind of realizes that she and her friends came back on a ship full of like however many hundreds of U.S. troops.
essentially boils down to, he has all him and his allies and have all the firepower. you have to play ball with them if you want, food and shelter and clean water. Otherwise, if you don't play ball, they kick you out of here, you disappear. And, well, I have a family, and, I'd rather not, have to fend for myself, because, it's a kind of chaotic,
You guys are the CIA.
out there.
Your whole thing is doing this shit, like, secretly. Why are you telling us this?
He has
Listen,
no
I've
friends.
He's just kind of lonely.
well, you did have to spell it out like that, but yes, I I saw what you guys have got up to in Poland. I've seen how, effective you were, and I'm I'm kind of putting all my eggs in one basket here, but you
That's really
know,
stupid.
at this point, I'm willing to try, and if you guys are willing to play ball, then
Oh, definitely. Worm says.
you
I
know,
mean,
I.
well, I won't speak on behalf of the rest of my friends, but I'm willing to stick around and see this through.
Mhm. But yeah, if you're willing to, work together, and I have some information that could help you guys, possibly, you know, overthrow, President West, and try and actually reunite this country, because you know, nation of Texas, they're, have you seen the Texans? Have you?
No, I'm Polish.
We just arrived.
Man, the rumors I'm hearing about, like, who they got running around down there, like, got. Okay, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but they have the Reynolds clan down there, just to continue throwing up that little piece of lore from this campaign.
Actually, that
But
raises a good point. Did the Reynolds brothers actually return, or are they still out in Poland looking for Mike?
they
There's
actually
probably
did
more of
return.
them.
Oh, they
They were the
did.
driving force behind
Yeah.
Texas declaring
Well,
independence.
I mean, how did they just give up on Mike, or what did they?
Um,
Oh, he'll find
the
his
way
way
that
home.
yeah, the way I'm handling it is that, like, they heard they heard this bugle call of like how the home front needed saving, so they're paddling back home in their fucking raft, and as of like as of like right now, where you're like in like for DC, they've like landed off the coast of Miami, and they're gonna tear gonna tear ass through to get back to Texas.
Or maybe they're just so stupid and like short-term memory that they landed in a new place. Like, no, well, Mike wasn't in that country, so maybe he's here.
Yeah, but yeah, like you will eventually happen upon the Reynolds clan again, because I used so few
They're in
of the
fucking
encounters
Miami.
that you'd be surprised how fast they could travel. They're gonna remake the Killdozer and
Oh no.
tear ass through the country.
I mean, well, actually no. If we steal the Killdozer, we could use that to get to West. But
But yeah, make no mistake, I realized I used so few of the Reynolds brothers encounters that it'd be a shame not to see them before the campaign ends. So they'll show up again. By God, if I need to invent some more Reynolds brothers.
Wait, I thought I killed them all.
yeah, give it another like 70 years.
Ugh. But yeah, that is always an option. Whoever made that comment of we need to do a third faction, Milgov or CivGov or third party option. But yeah, yeah. Get back on topic. I'm not just talking. Yeah, McCarthy currently does not, support West. He thinks that he's, gone off the rails and, needs to be, he obviously won't step down. Someone else needs to, step up and, overthrow him or, you know, show him who's boss, and then, he does have information to share if you guys are willing to work with him.
Yeah, well, Gorham has. I mean, that
And
leaves another question.
yep. And what's the question?
So, in terms of his command structure, yeah, because obviously we've kind of been, away from the U.S. of A. for quite a while. If he's enacted like martial law and stuff, and the original government is in hiding, does he have like a successor? Like, is there some equivalent to a vice president or something who would take the reins if he died?
Um.
Like, is that
Well,
something you know,
Vice
or
President. Yeah. So, like McCarthy, like I should have set the scene better. I realized. I apologize. This probably not that good of a session today,
no? That's
but
fine.
yeah, to flesh out the scene better because it is just theater of the mind. Like it is like an interview room and stereotypical like table, bunch
Like
of
a conference
files.
room table.
Yeah. And McCarthy, he'll open up like a couple of the files and he'll say, well, the vice president is dead. He when West started to have his power trip, the vice president tried to, you know, like articles of impeachment. West just straight up killed him. And as we go down like, the line of, like people who replace him, there is, some like the person who would be like the fourth in line to replace the president. She is still in hiding.
Do you know who that
And
person is?
I do. Let me find my list of names. There we go. On a different page because I actually did the smart thing and generated a name.
What year is
There
this
we
set
go.
in? 2000?
2000.
It's Hillary Clinton.
No, we have to rescue
I
Chelsea
think it's an
Clinton
alternate
now.
timeline
Yes.
because it's not a Clinton, unfortunately. I don't think many people watch this, and let's not give them another reason not to watch this. So, there's my Laura. Get a last name. Laura Grant. There we go. I'll put that in the. And it's just a note. So, yeah. Laura Grant. She was. I don't have an actual like I forget how the actual like order of succession is in the actual U.S. like government, but she is
It would
like
be the Secretary of State,
yeah.
the fourth in line of
Thank you,
presidential succession.
thank you.
Because basically it goes Vice
Yeah,
President, Speaker of the House, President pro tempore of the Senate, and then Secretary of State.
thank you, Cody. But yeah, Laura Grant. She was the former Secretary of State. Um, I have sources say that has no, she's in hiding. but I have credible sources that say she has fled to where did I say she was going? Where I put my little caption at. There we go. Yeah. So her last known whereabouts were in Charlotte,
Charlottesville.
Charlotte, like
Oh, just Charlotte.
that's I forget. Is that South Carolina or North Carolina? I forget.
The Charlotte Hornets, North Carolina.
Yep, Charlotte, North Carolina. So she's rather like a lot of distance between herself and
Oh, so
DC.
so I mean, I doubt we. I mean, should. And I'm saying this mainly to the agent. Like, should we go down and get her, or is that just who would be next in line? I mean, I'm just thinking like, in the short term, just to try to end this problem quickly, because it would take probably several days to get um, down to Charlotte. I'm just trying to think of what we could do in the here and now to try to make things better, and that's why I'm trying to figure out like who would be like, who would be the best person to at least briefly take control of the country in the event that West was like overthrown.
Excuse me. Okay. So short-term things you could do. So if you would like to, rather than go and do the long
Yeah, because it would be a long to
have
get to Charlotte. It would be a long drive, and then we have to find her, and she might not even still be alive, and you know, I'm just trying to think like obviously if the situation can be stabilized at least temporarily, then go and get her. But the problem is that I can't imagine she would emerge from hiding so long as West is still out and about. So I kind of feel like this falls on us.
mhm.
You still there?
Yep. Sorry, I'm just jotting down my note of just keeping track of everything I've told you in the session. Um, so you asked how you could overthrow him and whatnot,
Well,
correct?
yeah. Well, basically, Gorham's kind of asking two related questions here, like how to overthrow him, and then also like what the you know who would be next in line, like what the best possible option would be to you know quickly take power after he's dealt with, so that way um things don't get worse. Because like the thing is that like if there's like Gorham's trying to find out like what is this guy's with the Secretary of State being in hiding and several other successors being out of the picture. Currently, it's basically just West ruling this place with an iron fist. So, like, if somebody is able to defeat him, whether violently or non-violently, and like who would be taking control, or how would control be like that power be passed down? Like, those are basically two separate questions, and if you want to answer them one at a time, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
And obviously, if anybody else has questions, feel free. But there's quite a lot to
Yeah.
unpack here, so.
hmm So. so So, yeah. So to answer your like question of like to like kind of like take him down. So I would say that you just can't like just do it immediately because I would kind of like just end like this arc of the campaign in like a couple sessions. And I do want to give you guys like a good amount of sessions because this is kind of like the final like arc of you guys being
Yeah,
back in
because I
the
did want to
US.
ask also. I mean, I'll ask later on, but I was just curious, like session count, and I'll discuss it with you later, like the reason why I'm asking.
Yeah. Yeah. Um I would say that you guys could definitely work toward like weakening his like grip on people. You can do that by um um basically going around to um my brain would function. Um like before I answer this, so what it sounds like you guys want to do essentially for the like this final arc of the campaign is that you want to kind of go against like the military government like control.
I
Is
mean, that's
that
what Gorham wants to
correct?
do, but if anybody else wants to do anything else, I mean, like even if everybody else wants to pack up and go back to their home states, Gorham's going to stay and finish the fight. But
What's not to say that Texas reunites the United States instead of the milk gov?
Mm-hmm.
something that occurred to me, I mean, we could theoretically do like, you know, a more ludicrous, extreme version of splitting the party where like one half is in a different state and the other half is in DC or something like that. I don't know. But I mean, that probably wouldn't be a good idea, especially with different party roles. But I was just thinking for the political side of it.
It'd be an interesting concept to like run two simultaneous campaigns with different groups that
Well, I
are
wasn't thinking
affecting
really
the same thing.
campaigns so much as like, because I remember the time we did like the prisoner exchange, um, where I think it was like Gorham, uh, um, Vincent, and then possibly Ray went to the like Soviet camp, and then everybody else went to the U.S. camp, like that kind of thing. But yeah, I think like for like a more prolonged period, probably wouldn't be that good of an idea. It would be kind of cool, but um, so anyway, um, but yeah, Gorham. I mean, Gorham is definitely trying to like she's trying to ascertain, again the like what possible weaknesses this guy has and like where to start and kind of chipping away at his power, and then also trying to figure out like you know if he topples, who's going to be the like who can take the reins of of his of his presidency. And I mean, Emily, you kind of get what I'm getting at, but I hope.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Um. Yeah. Um. So ways you could like weaken his control is so like the bigger um like some of like the big cities you could like visit that I'm going to like plan for are like you could visit like Richmond, Virginia, Baltimore, Maryland, and like in DC itself.
Might want to circle
Um
those or
yep,
just
let me
write
do
them
that.
down, whichever.
Yeah, I'll you know circle them and also write them down later. Yeah, like Richmond, Baltimore. It'll add to this list, obviously. Philadelphia.
Trumpedonia is obviously a hole in the earth, but
I was gonna say, I mean, it's not uncommon to have campaigns in multiple, parties split apart in multiple different places. Maybe, I don't know. I guess the physical distance doesn't really matter.
well, I mean, it kind of does if we're in a situation where, for example, like well, actually, hold on, we have 2 medics, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
we have the
Travis and then
NPC medic and then Travis.
actually, wait, hold on. So if Henrik's still with us, and then we got one of those like U.S. characters who joined us before we left Germany, we would have like 3, right?
Mhm.
Sounds like
Interesting.
we can just make like backup characters for each group that splits up.
I'd rather not. I mean, at least for me personally, but although actually, this seems like a good time to ask.
Yeah,
Like,
I guess,
oh, sorry.
like, what's the, I mean, from each character's perspective, what's the motivation to stick together and not just go our separate ways at this point?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I asked that earlier. Like
Because like my
Gorham,
goal is just to get home and like whatever, whatever my, I can't remember what it is, but it's like start a business or whatever.
I mean, if you want to do that, go for it. It's just Gorham is committed to, she knows that it's kind of like another settlement needs our help sort of situation, and going home and burying her head in the sand isn't going to make the problem go away. The whole
Gorm,
country's
there's
under
always
martial
going to be
law.
another settlement.
I mean, in theory, you could just like have your character, go and do his thing and then roll up another one that's, more involved.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it could work.
Yeah, if you would want to do that, you're open to. You can do that, and you can just keep all the XP that you've accumulated and use that to like improve your character mechas. And if anyone wants to do that, you're more than welcome to do that for like this leg of the campaign. But yeah, I'm also down if you guys want to possibly like if you want to put a pin in like dealing with like President West and maybe like focusing on like the stuff in Texas first and like dealing with that, and then like once that's dealt with and refocusing on West, we could do that way, or
I mean,
whichever way you guys want to
so two
do
things I
it.
wanted to point out. First one is, um, like I was saying, I mean, if we're going to do it that way, then possibly, we could sort of do like a greater distance version of what we did in, what you call it? Like I said, the prisoner exchange before, where like, is we could have like 2 separate, like scenes where it's kind of like, so what's this group up to? All right, going back to this group. It's just instead of being like a few kilometers away, they're on the other sides of the country. That, I mean, I personally wouldn't really have an issue with that. Um, especially because, like I said, I'm not personally crazy about the idea of making a second character. I'm fine with the one I have. The other thing I was going to ask also is, um, so, I mean, just to summarize it real quick, there was I mean, if you're willing to it, especially because Astron's been MIA for quite a while, there was a player that reached out to me for a paid game I'm going to be doing soon, and she mentioned she was very interested in playing T2K. And depending on how long this final arc is going to go, I mean, if you want to at least talk to that player, I could get you in touch.
Yeah, of course.
So, but we can address that more after the session. I just wanted to bring that up because I think that would also be an ideal solution because I mean we're effectively playing with 5 at this point and have been for quite some time. So I'm not saying give Astron the boot by any means. It's just that if he's going to be gone for
Yeah.
a while, then maybe bring somebody in. So that especially if the decision is made to have one group go to Texas and then the other group stay in the Northeast. This is just my thoughts anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But do you have an estimation of how long the U.S. arc would last? Just for my own reference. I'm not in a hurry for it to end by any means, but I'm just saying based on what I just said. It would...
Yeah. I would say like probably like I'd probably say like 10 or so sessions. Like, because I want to do like I want to give it a proper amount of time and
Oh, I agree
give you enough
completely.
time to like play your
Yeah,
characters.
I'm fine with that. I just needed to know, in the event that I reach out to the player that I was talking about.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, I'm planning for at least 10 sessions, and that, and if we go on for more, then I'm more than happy to play for more.
All right. I just wanted to get a sense of. Is that 10 including, this sort of intro, or?
Um, I would say like today is definitely kind of like just getting back into like you know like this is basically our season 2 of sorts. Like this is basically like a session 0 for season 2, so not including today.
Okay.
Because today is definitely like very choppy, getting things
Right.
like back in the swing of like action.
But yeah, so I mean, I guess the pressing question is, because I think it was Ray just wants to cut his losses, go home. Gorham wants to stay and finish the fight. Like, I mean, does everybody else want to stay or go?
Well, Martin is always up for a fight, especially if it improves the world.
Yeah, because I know like Arthur and they're both like and Henrik, they're all immigrants, so they're coming over here and basically like and with him Henrik being an NPC, like he'll follow what he wants to do, and because I know then like and then Travis and Ray are both U.S. citizens. Are Travis and Ray both from Texas? I think.
Uh,
I know Travis is. Fucking.
Oh, hey, I know a new faction, the Loud Boys. Wow.
Well, I already have.
All get themselves killed because
Mormon extremists, not fundamentalists, extremists.
Oh, is that what it is? Mormon extremists?
Yes.
Okay. You've watched that movie way too often.
Quote it. I
What's
could
that?
quote it.
Oh, dude, that is hilarious. That is too funny. Everybody fights. No one quits.
But yeah, I guess if you want to retire, Ray, you're more than welcome to. And if you want to like make another character to continue like playing, just feel free to, and just I'll make another character sheet.
Okay, I'll think, and what I want to do.
Okay,
What are
but
those guys called that patrol the border? And it's a group that starts with a P. What are they called?
Border Patrol?
No. No, they're a bunch of.
Are you talking about
Also,
like the U.S.-Mexico border, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, Border Patrol.
No. No, a non-government group.
Oh, I don't know who you're talking about. I mean, I know the concept that there's these like random people that go out there, but I don't know that. I'm sure that there's like 20 different names of different organizations.
Yeah, I'll pause the timer for now. If you guys would like, do you want to just spend the rest of the session time like discussing like what you want to do with the rest of this campaign? The session, is that okay with everyone? Just so we were on the same like page.
Yeah, I could go either way.
I'm,
You know,
I'm fine with
sorry to. Okay, yeah, sorry to. You know, again, I apologize. It's really wonky, but. But yeah, I just want to be on the same page with you guys because I realize like, you know, Twilight 2000. It's definitely a game that, once you get to the US, it's like, well, yeah, a lot of us want to get to the US, but what now? And that's usually like the big dream, but yeah. Um okay. So, finally answer your question, Cody, about like how to, get what's his nuts West out of, his position, his military junta, basically. Um Basically, you'll have to find someone who will, give you the hint about how to kick him out of his thing, because I do like the idea you pitched to me about,
Glad to hear it.
getting him kicked out.
As long
So,
as it leads to the ultimate result that we discussed,
yep,
because that would
because
be
I
very funny.
yep,
Well, so is the
and
objective
I'll
just to take him out individually, or to take out the whole like junta
I mean,
junta?
he's in charge of the entire thing, and he doesn't have an immediate successor. So basically, once it could be like we'll either kill or non-lethal dispose, and then possibly take his place. Is what I'm kind of angling for. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's probably a couple big ways to do it, right? Is one, just take him out individually, however, and then the other thing would be to like convince basically the rest of the like whoever is second command there to
there isn't a
you know
second in
to
command.
well, no, I mean there has to be some lieutenant that he gives orders to actually do things, right?
Basically, do what the U.S. did in Venezuela. Just find someone willing to
Yeah,
like backstab them.
like it's not practical that it's like literally him at the top and then like thousands of troops all directly reporting to him, right? There is some command structure
Well,
where
it could
there's
be a
people that
case.
he gives orders.
I mean, like even if he has like subordinate like colonels or lower, it could be a case where like there are a couple of different officers. It's not just he has a right hand man. It's like he maybe
Right,
has like
that's what I'm saying.
contact with like a couple of different colonels and just gives them separate orders.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But like, we could try to find someone sympathetic, in that group to be like, hey, do you want to be in charge? Do you want to take this guy out? Has he been pissing you off? Like, let's work together to do it, or basically corrode the organization from within. So that's what I'm saying. You could either take the guy out directly, or sort of work within the organization to kind of have them help you take him out. Like maybe you could discredit him, right? Like you could like plant some false evidence that would force the rest of the officers to turn against him or something.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, that idea, like with what I like sort of have planned for just to kind of like a little bit of a kind of spoiler for like this kind of penultimate like encounter with President like West is, yeah, I like that kind of like turning his inner circle against him, where he's like, go get them my henchmen, and then they turn their back on him and just,
Yeah, he
fuck
loses
you,
all of his
dude.
allies, and then it makes it even easier to get directly
Yeah.
to him and challenge him. Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
Shadow of Mordor style. Anyway, like I was just saying, like that's a couple ways to do it. I mean, I guess theoretically you could find some other outside force to like come and destroy the entire junta, but like that's probably a lot more difficult.
Well, yeah, because it's like, I mean, at this point, who's going to oppose the U.S. military? I mean, it wouldn't be, Mexico or Canada, because I mean, like the Marine Corps alone outnumbers all of Canada's military.
Mhm.
Yeah, but Canada didn't get nuked. Or
Was
did
Canada
they?
invaded by Russia in the
Not to
in
my
Twilight 2000, or am I thinking of
knowledge.
something else?
No, but there's also the fact is Texas is independent too, so we could just also find a rival army to just, take
No,
control.
we rally the Reynolds clan. We find out just how many rednecks there are.
You could
I was about to.
stir up a conflict between Texas and the junta, and then use that as pretext for like,
Oh
hey,
my
this guy's
god.
mismanaging things, and he's got to go. He's leading us towards disaster, type of thing. Or maybe even blame it on them, like you do a false flag and like, oh, Texas took him out.
Oh my god. A
You
false
plant a
flag,
lone
like.
Whataburger wrapper on his body. That's all the evidence they need.
No, we get and then for the Texas side, we just need to do like a false like explosion at a Bucky's, and then blame it
I
on
mean,
the
that's an act of
murder.
war, yeah. That's causes
We
by
have
the fire.
radical milk terrorists operating in Texas.
The sad thing is I think that if that actually, like, happened in IRL, that would actually work. Because
Yeah, causes belly.
people are like that feral of Bucky's.
Is Bucky's even a Texas thing, or is it because it's everywhere, right? But is it specifically a Texas thing?
It's a Texas
I,
thing.
they
People
started
get
in
married
Texas,
there
I
for
know.
some reason.
I know there's ones in Kentucky, and there's like a couple other ones like elsewhere. I know there's one in Kentucky because me and my mom and my brother drove like 3 hours down there
Yeah,
one
it's
time.
expanding out. It's expanding out, but it's a Texas thing.
Hmm. I was gonna make the joke a little bit ago about, like, the U.S., like what's left of the U.S. military, like all the hillbillies and like the rednecks in Texas, like, but then I realized that that's actually like a pretty even conflict now that I think about it. So that's not even that much of a joke.
I mean, that's what you get for the
It's
southern side. The north is just gonna be wine mines.
it's like
I don't know, man. I feel like give me a division of Philadelphians against Texans.
Well, it depends. Like, are we talking like northern Michigan, northeast, or the northwest, where you got like people that storm bird sanctuaries?
Those are the people those people. That's like who the Finns had when they demolished the Russians in the Winter War. Okay.
Meal Team 6. Like a bunch of really fat veterans.
So, well, see, the way that we kick off the whole conflict, right, is we do it like Call of Duty did. You get your group together, you attack the Buckies, and before you go in, you're like, remember, no Yankee.
I don't
With
know
like
if I
the
should be happy that I have no idea what you're talking about.
We're just coming up with like obviously deranged ways to instigate a war between fascist U.S. government or whatever, the military, and
Oh,
Texas.
that's really easy. That's really easy. He's got Mexican kids. There you go. Problem solved. That's how they're reacting to JD Vance now.
Oh boy, what I miss.
A very unhinged conversation about how turned the MilGov versus the nation of Texas, including the highlight of the conversation is a false flag operation about an invasion of monkeys.
Are the monkeys on meth?
No, not monkeys, Bucky's.
Oh,
Texas doesn't care about monkeys.
you ever been to a Bucky's? That place is magical.
Their sandwiches are really good. I'll give them that.
It's a magical fucking land where a building the size of Walmart is a gas station with like 100 fucking pumps. I could not believe what I
Everything's
was
bigger
seeing.
in Texas. What the fuck is that? The poor Robin's a share.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Is that
These-
Photoshop or is that an actual flag?
Oh, it was
Islamic
something
State
where
of
someone walked
Pakistan?
into a Bucky's and hoiled an actual flag of that.
Oh my god.
Founded by Ibn al-Baki.
But yeah, basically, I've like the session is essentially over for the day. We're just taking the time to discuss like going forward, like what you guys want to do for this arc of the campaign. Let's
I see.
like how you want to deal with being in the U.S. and
I think
dealing
we
with
should increase the violence
Why?
and we should convince all the different factions of the Civil War to all hate each other and kill each
That's
other.
what we're saying, right? Is basically
That's
one
usually
of the
what
ways we
happens
could
when
get rid of the
we're
guy
in a
is to
civil
get
war.
Texas and the other ones to fight each other.
Well,
And then
I
we
mean,
take out the guy.
yeah, well, because
I'm happy
basically
as-
there's a rift between the civilian government and the military government. Gorham is hell bent on dealing with the military government with as minimal loss to life as possible. And I mean, obviously Texas and a couple other states sort of form their own little coalition. Do we know if there's like a U.S. military occupation in that little Texan federation?
If they're independent, then I would assume like whatever units were there probably rebelled and like went over to the Texas side, or they defeated them.
y- yeah, there are some like remnants of. I'll have to look up like what like military unit is down in like Texas, or like what would be down in Texas, like what branch of the military does their training down there. Oh my god, the fucking Confederate flag with the freaking text.
I mean, I don't know if the Navy has a major base in Texas, but like massive Army bases and Air Force bases. So
Mhm.
Fort Bragg is Texas, right?
Fort Bragg, you said?
No. Fort Hood. That's what I'm thinking of.
There's a lot of Texas military. I mean, it's a big fucking state.
yeah, I just don't think that they have any major naval like dockyards or anything. I don't think.
Texas naval bases. Um,
Might have like a naval air station or something, but probably not.
yeah,
Not too much.
a lot of naval air stations, a lot of naval reserve bases.
Yeah. Yeah. So like there wouldn't be like major warships probably docked anywhere in Texas, but there would be like probably Air Force, squadrons or whatever, and also like infantry divisions and probably like an armored division or something.
Hmm. Yeah, so there would be like yeah, there are troops down there, but they have rebelled and you know.
Well, it's just a question also. I mean, even if there are military forces down there, it's a question of would they want to get involved if they're potentially vastly outnumbered. Like they just declared independence. The last thing they want is to get annexed.
Right, but I mean that's what I'm saying. Like we can stir up tensions where maybe we make it seem like whatever Harris, whatever his name is like
West?
making moves to West, is like making moves to you know prevent them from being independent. You know.
Yeah, that could be an option. I mean, if you like, if the especially if the PCs coordinate that with Gorham, she will absolutely use that in her campaign in DC, like her crusade.
We have a bunch of gold. We haven't like sold that off yet,
We
right?
did.
Oh, did we? Okay.
Yeah, we're basically millionaires by this point, is what Emily said.
Yeah, so why don't we pay people to like be our own
Then we just
private
buy a bunch
army?
of senators. The problem solved. That's what the corporations do now.
Buy a bunch of what
That's
now?
true. We need a lobbyist
What
first
did you say,
to make
Marty?
it
I
legal?
didn't hear what you said to buy.
Senators.
Why don't we buy a bunch of senators? I mean, the
Oh,
government's for sale anyway.
Yeah.
The government.
Let's
We'd
role
like to
play a
support your
super PAC.
re-election campaign.
Yeah, exactly. Like the. No, it needs to be. It needs to sound more patriotic. Let's think. The Veterans Super PAC.
Hmm.
American Veterans United, some kind of
Yeah,
nondescript name.
exactly.
I will note that, like, I mean, in this timeline, the whatever that court ruling hasn't happened, so like there are still campaign finance laws. Obviously, they still did shit, but it's not like it is today.
Mhm. Oh yeah, like there's like a thing in like the referee's manual about like when the timeline diverged and like stuff and like which elections like happened and didn't happen.
But yeah, I mean, if we got Kanye West as president, something
Oh,
weird
no.
happened.
You think it's not weird enough?
Yeah, like the timeline diverged in '92 when the Soviet Union didn't collapse. So Bush lost the election in '92 to Clinton. And then
and the thing was '96 that Harvey West
It sounds
became.
like such a made-up name.
I mean, that's what it is in the referee manual. Harvey West is the president in this
yeah,
timeline.
yeah,
It sounds like a character from a Batman cartoon.
I mean, well, Harvey is the first name of Two-Face, so
yeah, Harvey Dent is Two-Face.
That's probably where I'm getting that from, yeah.
Adam
Yeah.
West is the voice actor, right?
yeah, that too.
Yeah, so we just gotta put them together.
Yeah, and then May
Voice
9th,
actor?
1996. May 9th, 1996. Soviet tank thundered into Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. Broad offensive. Clinton lost the election to Harvey West. Was when he was elected in '96. 97. Is installed as U.S. president. U.S. military presence in Germany is beefed up significantly, including tactical nuclear weapons. Newly commissioned USS Harry S. Truman aircraft carrier sails into the Baltic Sea.
Which, by the way, doesn't make any sense. Would be insane to do. But continue.
Yeah, here, if you're still in the Foundry, I can share this with you.
It's
Like,
like,
so
I'm a
just...
fish. Let me jump into this barrel where this guy with a shotgun is standing near it.
Like, it never said that the guys thought any of this was intelligent, but
I mean, he was in the Marine Corps, so
you know that, as they say in like Marine stands for muscles are
Shit, we can
required,
use poisonous
intelligence not
crayons.
essential.
I haven't heard that before.
I have not heard that one either.
Oh, that is fucking hilarious.
I gotta
Well-
ask my Marine buddies if they've ever heard that.
Joking about Marines eating crayons is like one of the most common jokes about them.
Oh,
Eating
yeah.
crowns?
Crayons.
Yeah.
Crayons.
Yeah, I mean, they even sort of took that in stride. Like, you know, the other service branches were mocking them for it, and they like owned up to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like,
I've seen
it's like, Air Force being the chair force and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Hoorah.
It's crazy how the Marines get like all of the leftover crap. Like they were still using M16s up until a couple years ago, and they still managed to like win.
That's because they're Marines. So
Yeah.
I talked to one of my employees is an Air Force vet, and I went over to him and I was like, Marines, uh, they've got this whole story about gung ho and always doing one step more than you actually can, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And like, is it true? Yep. And are they all like that? They're all like that. And every time that I hear something about a Marine, all I can hear is the guy going, "They're all like that."
I mean, I feel like to be a Marine, you have to be kind of pretty fucking hardcore.
Yeah.
Well, they teach you to be hardcore.
Yeah.
There's the thing where every Marine is a rifleman because no matter what like specialization you do, they're very, very particular about marksmanship. So that's probably a pretty big contributor to functioning.
Is that the whole? This is my rifle, etc. Or this is your rifle, blah blah.
Like the Rifleman's Creed? No, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, kinda.
There are many
I'm sure
like
they have
it,
their
but
own.
This one is yours or something.
I'm pretty sure that that song involves a dick grab at some point, right?
You know, yeah, and Full Metal Jacket at least.
Yeah. So that does sound very Marine-y.
Of course. Like the thing in like the referee's manual about West is that he ran on the platform of like he ran on being stern against Moscow because they were like or being like stern against Russia because they were like being like really
Aggressive.
overreaching, and that's aggressive because that's why he got elected, and that's why he sent the aircraft carrier into Baltic Sea.
Who's the leader
Yes.
of the Soviet Union?
What was his face? KGB
Soviet
chief
Gorbachev.
Vladimir Kryuchkov.
I like Brezhnev better. He had funny eyebrows.
Yep. And then in 97, the KGB staged violent pro-Soviet riots in Poland, and the Polish government responds with military force. So basically did false flag operations, which the Russians then invaded Poland because they said that they're being
Again.
aggressive. Yep. And then in the U.S., President West reacts immediately, unwilling to send ground forces into Poland. He ordered a broad air bombing campaign against the advancing Soviet forces with stealth aircraft and cruise missiles. The Kremlin replies with airstrikes against U.S. military bases in the UK, Germany, and Turkey, drawing NATO into the escalating conflict.
Hold on.
Meanwhile,
Can I ask you a question?
sure.
Did Poland become like sort of independent, like with solidarity, or what?
Yeah, it became independent after the Warsaw Pact fell through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the whole reason they invaded it, because Poland declared independence, and then they decided they wanted it back. So,
Right.
Yeah.
but yeah, it's only, I mean, in terms of like them bombing the NATO nations, that's all. That's about as stupid as there was this poll, like it was many years ago, but there was like this joke poll about like bombing Agrabah from Aladdin, and there were a bunch of dumbasses who actually voted in favor of that, even though they didn't even know it wasn't real.
Oh, just wait until you read how many people would vote in favor of outlawing H2O. If you
Oh,
if
I'm
you write
sure.
it if you write it in a certain way.
Yeah, and then there,
Dihydrogen monoxide.
yeah, and
Yes.
then there's
Yes.
I mean, there are also the people who think that chocolate milk comes from brown cows. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of fucking idiots in the world. So
Oh yeah.
And then sadly, there's quite a few that are right there in Congress.
Yeah. The irony is I think in like the timeline for like this game, I think the U.S. is still part of WHO. That's no longer the case.
yeah,
Because
No,
as
but
of
California is.
yesterday, well,
No,
yeah,
but
they actually
California and
rejoined
four
it.
other states. Yeah, like
Yep.
Gavin Newsom was immediately was like, yeah, the U.S. is out, but we're in. I find it hilarious that the states have actually that level of independence that they can just say to the U.S., you can, or to the federal government, y'all can go fuck yourself. We're gonna do this.
so hold on, was it
Yep.
all the states or just some of them?
Well, it was just
I think there's
California said it
4
so far.
states that are. Is it just California so far?
I mean, I only saw California. Maybe there's been other states that have said it. I have no idea,
Probably
like
the
from a
usual.
legal perspective, like what that means. Like, what does it mean for a state to be in it? But yeah,
It
I mean,
means that they
states
can
can enter,
participate
like
in the
governors.
world.
Governors go on foreign trips all the time and like come up with deals with foreign governments and stuff and foreign companies. So
Yeah.
there
But
is a
like
pretty high
California
level
has
of
a
autonomy.
Secretary of State. California has a Secretary of State, and I was like, I myself
Okay, so
too wondered about
just
that.
just so
Like,
you understand, so in almost every state there's a Secretary of State.
yeah,
It's not Secretary of State like you think in the federal government. It's usually that person is like, you know, responsible for managing internal affairs of the state. Like I think in Washington, our Secretary of State like runs the elections and stuff, and like does other like very boring like bureaucratic shit. So it's not like the foreign diplomat of a state is the Secretary of State.
I see.
But anyway,
Mm.
Emily, I was going to ask. So I mean, hopefully, I mean, I definitely think the idea of the like potentially the group splitting up on like a nationwide scale would be kind of cool. But I mean, obviously, if that would be too much work, I mean, I don't know if it would be, but
I don't know how that would function as
yeah.
like a.
I don't know if the intent is like to keep the whole group together or not, but
Ideally, I would like to keep the group together. So maybe we could, we could do this in 2 parts. Like we could do probably like the first part is like disposing or like like getting West out of his position as like, president. And then we could do as like a second like part to the campaign of you guys like going to Texas and like, getting them to like deal with the new president? Like after you've, gotten rid of West?
I am in favor of that sequence of events, and 0 points for guessing why.
But if we get rid of him, isn't like one of his cronies just going to take the position?
Depends on how it's done, and that's why I've been asking, like what, like that's why Gorham was asking all these questions, like, what is his, like, he doesn't have an immediate, like he's missing several immediate heirs, and like the closest person who could take his spot is in hiding. So theoretically, I mean, the role might be, up for grabs for whoever, is able to take him down and claim power for themselves. But I mean,
I'm sure that
we
would go
don't
really well.
we don't know that for sure. For two reasons. Number one is because the CIA guy hasn't expressly said that, and number two, because nobody has tried it yet, so nobody has found out.
I'm kind of in favor of not trusting the CIA.
Why? We've worked with
Um,
2 CIA agents and they've been completely legit with us.
I mean, yeah, but that's because we serve their interests.
Yeah, and we'd be doing that again because the guy said that the CIA in this case is supportive of the original civilian government, not West's like dictatorship. So if we bring down West, and especially if it's a person who has the interests of, like the interests in, like whose interests and goals align with that of the CIA and the civilian government, then it's a win-win situation. Like they're getting what they want, especially if power is restored to the civilian government. But that
I
requires
guess I
taking
just
down.
know too much about the CIA. I know this is like a fictional, you know, CIA, but
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, if the split off point is, what did you say, 1992?
Well, I think it's like the timeline divulges after the Gulf War. Like the Gulf War, I think is the first the first
Yeah.
major event that's mentioned in the timeline that happened as it did in actuality. But it's like, hold on, let me just, because I have the timeline handout still pulled up. So let's see. So yeah, 1989, the Berlin Wall falls. 1990, Gulf War, Germany's reunited. 1991, Gulf War ends. In July 1st, 91, Warsaw Pact is dissolved, but then August 19th, uh, the Gang of Eight sets their coup in motion, and the coup actually succeeds.
Hmm.
So like August 19th of 91 is officially when the timeline like truly diverges.
Okay, so the CIA in this universe are effectively the same.
Right, but the
And
problem
that
is
would
is that the the government, like the US government, split in half.
no, I get that, but what I'm saying is the CIA are they're never the good guys in any situation. Effectively, they're very okay with killing just whoever, including like random Americans for anything that suits their own purposes. So I trust them about as much as I trust. Uh, I don't even know. I'd trust a snake more to not fucking bite me than the
Yeah.
CIA with anything.
Yep. So just like add a character, just so I kind of put you at ease, Blitz, so you're not so paranoid.
It's not
Um,
even paranoia. You should look them up.
I
Look up what
I
they've
know
done.
that
Yeah,
And
be
It's
CIA
not
is
even
very
strategically,
like
bad, but I know. But in terms of Twilight 2000, just so to have kind of a way to like give you information so you can like learn it and like kind of big like kind of story reveal, like so you're working kind of towards a purpose. Like yes, they're bad, they've done bad things, but they're not like they haven't they won't actively work against you just because like that it they're it's basically a way for me, the GM, to hear the story beats so you can follow them, and
Okay.
like they won't be working against you. Like I know that's a very like piss pop out, but it's just kind of a way for me to be like, okay, so here's some stuff for you to do. We're meeting these story beats and like that kind of stuff. Just to
Gotcha. Okay. Just they're just
put your
being
mind
used
at
as
ease for the
a
campaign. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm not even so much like worried about them working against us or whatever. Just like, man, this is like Heinrich Himmler coming up to us and telling us what's up and like, hey, can you help me out with something? So I don't know about that one, Mr. Himmler. Uh, but yeah, fair enough, fair enough. I get where you're coming from.
Yep. And I realized that it's kind of a cop out for you know me to not have to you know most other like Twilight 2000 mill simmers be like, oh yeah, you always need to be plotting against the party, you always need to be working against them, but that's just no one has fun if you do that. So I hope no one is upset that I'm not actively trying to
No,
sabotage you
I couldn't have
along
dreamed
the
of a better
way.
Twilight 2000 game, so you're all clear.
Because I know, like,
That's a D&D mindset.
yeah,
That has nothing to do with any game type. That's a D&D mindset. Well,
yeah,
anyway.
I'm very happy that you're not like trying to have a dick measuring competition with the players. Well, oh, you won. Here's a fucking big ass thing
Rocket
that fucks
artillery
you.
strike, yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to mention it, but I'm
yeah. But yeah,
Well,
sorry for that aside. I just wanted to clarify that. And
let me guess. Ghost?
No, worse, whiskey.
it was yeah.
Not even
Yeah,
Ghost is that stupid.
it's for just to quickly I was in a T2K game. Whiskey was running it. This was before I was in here, I think.
Okay.
And I happened to get lucky on a few rolls and like
Mm-hmm.
I was just some dude with a fucking handgun and I was fighting off the Spetsnaz and rolling really well and he's just like, "All right, they're calling in rocket artillery on you." It's like, "Damn." Huh.
I assume that whiskey is a douchebag.
No, that douchebag doesn't even
Yeah.
begin to describe him.
The he ended that game so that he would have more time for Arma 3 SS Panzer Division roleplay. And that sounds like I'm making it up,
He
but I
wasn't.
remember he posted about it in the Discord channel, his fucking Steam group, and it was like 16th SS Panzer Arma 3 fucking
Invading Poland.
I I was in such a state of disbelief.
You should see my face right now.
yeah, long story short, he is a very unpleasant dude, and
Yes, he's
just
he's openly a Nazi. Of course, he's an
yeah.
unpleasant person.
Well,
That's their whole
and
goal.
he's also every kind of cyst you can think of. Um,
Obsessed.
and well, racist, sexist,
Oh, just
um,
okay. Got it. Yeah.
a transphobe, and all of that sort of like, nonsense.
Yeah, because like
Um,
there was a campaign I was in very briefly that was supposed to be like his like well, first of all, it was the killing blow in my hatred of Milsimmers, but like basically, long story short, there was a moment where so I was playing like the Smurfette of the group, so to speak, and like during my turn in combat, like when my character was going, like as she was taking her turn, he was like flooding the Discord chat with like sexual gifs of like women like firing rifles and their butts jiggling from the recoil. You cannot
yeah,
tell me that
that's
that isn't sexist. Like, come on.
yeah. There are several stories we can share
Yeah,
after
but
the
don't
after the
want.
session, but
Yeah, and that's just one of those things where you're just like, do you have anything better to do with your time than just taking those photos?
Yeah, exactly.
yep.
Exactly.
But yeah,
Here comes
several.
my question. Please tell me he's not in my server.
He's not.
He's
No.
Nope,
not. No.
nope. I would never allow him near this server.
Ditto.
The only reason why I'm still on his server is as I'm gathering evidence against him to eventually turn into Discord to get him kicked off the thing. Because the amount of vile shit he says is
He actually
ridiculous.
yeah, Marty. He actually got banned from the FFG server.
That's for the best. I wonder how that happened though.
Oh, I'll tell you exactly how it happened. He so well the first time, he was like insulting, like berating one of his former players in chat. And then the second time there was that like Haiti like pet eating like please don't eat me meme, and he set that as his profile image on Discord, and that was kind of the final straw for the moderators, and so they banned him for that, and then as Emily sent me screenshots, he was flipping out in his server over that. And it's like,
Yep.
I had it on a meme and those woke fuck sticks got in a tussle about it.
But yeah,
Because, yeah,
we'll
being an
discuss it
asshole
after.
will get you kicked.
Yeah, who knew?
Yep. But yeah.
But anyway,
So yep. So all right. So session hook for next time we play this. All right. So somewhere where you can look to find information about how to dispose this guy and get rid of him to give reason chance for get President Douche Nozzle kicked out of his position. Excuse me. I have an informant in Fredericksburg.
okay. Can you mark that, please?
Yes.
Maybe with a different
I
color
will.
circle, just to, or a note, or whichever.
It's just to the south.
Right. Well, I'm just
Yeah,
saying
I'll
because
mark
there's
it up.
already like 4 other states or cities that are circled. So
Yep. Go. Yep. Do it here. So I will change that to blue.
Which, by the way, the fact that Fredericksburg gets like warrants a call out on the map is kind of hilarious, considering how small it is.
well, I mean what better place for? I mean, it's not like a big strategic sort of position, so maybe. I mean,
I'm just commenting on the map. I think it's funny that Fredericksburg is highlighted.
how many? Well, how many? Oh, you mean like how it shows up on the map at all?
Yeah, like it's. I mean, it's a medium-sized city at best.
I think it's only done that way because it
I
is
guess there's
supposed to be
nothing
like
else really in there, so you might as well do it. But
yeah, it's also like a map like the East Coast, so it's like here are these like big important like quotation mark cities on the East Coast. Here you go. Here I'll just put it like this. But and that's how you spell that. I was about to say informant. Okay.
Well, better that than inform
I'll
mints,
fix
like
the
like a breath mint.
yeah. But yeah, there's an informant in Fredericksburg, and
Might I suggest like
goodness gracious.
this one right here, get rid of that, and then drag the one on the top over
Yep.
so we can see the name of the city.
Yep, I'll do that, and I'll make sure I'll update the map labels so they look much better next time. But yeah, there is an informant in Fredericksburg who can give you some more information about situation in Washington, how you can get rid of President West, challenge him, make him step down, and yeah. So any other questions you have about anything? Oh, excuse me. Ugh. Any comments you want to make?
I mean, me personally, no, because like I said, I already kind of outlined what Gorm's objectives are, both in our chat and DMs as well as in the here and now. So.
Mm.
And Gorham
Okay.
just wants to make America great again, even if she has to be the one to do it. So
Yep. But actually make America better, not not
Worse.
not the not actual MAGA.
yeah, well, no, she actually genuinely means make America great again. She's not just using that as like a campaign pitch. And the best part is that because Trump ate a nuke in the or ICBM, whichever, in prior to the events of the campaign, he can't just be watching the news like, that's a good idea. I might steal it for myself.
Yeah. But yeah.
That, or maybe,
Awesome.
or alternatively, he wouldn't touch it because a woman made it up.
Yeah. But yeah. That'll be today's session. I I apologize. This is, a little choppy, little, you know, wasn't the best, and I had planned a couple things, but then I realized that some of the stuff I had planned, we needed to, you know, have discussions about some
Blitz, what in the
stuff
fuck did
over,
you just roll?
just jumping in.
Uh, a D1 trillion or something.
Okay.
It's like
Okay.
it's like a D10 million.
Okay.
I want to see if
Uh,
it was possible.
um. Okay. So I'll go ahead and I'll give you guys. I'll go ahead and give you 10 XP just
Okay.
for this session, just so you can bump up any skills you want, and also just so Megas has a little bit of an extra boost, since it sounds like you're going to make a new character and retire your old one, and and that is the same for everyone else. If you want to, roll up a new one
Any DP?
and retire, I'll go with 5
Okay.
for this session.
Still
Also,
have the piece of cake from the bunker.
the fuck? Why do you have a
The,
piece
de-
of cake?
the Death Day cake. I kept it to use it as a weapon.
It's probably
Okay.
well, yeah. If you feed somebody that cake, it's definitely gonna be a weapon, biological weapon. But I was also gonna say, just for the humor of it, because Gorm would sincerely miss Ray, she would actually give him a hug goodbye and a kiss on the cheek, because knowing Ray is probably the first time he's been kissed by a woman. Just kidding. This is the tech nerd.
I'm gonna give him a gun just as a
I
parting
already have
gift.
a gun, but thank you.
You can have another.
But yeah, in all seriousness, Gorm genuinely liked Ray, and she said, yeah, maybe when all this is said and done, we can catch up again.
Don't tell anyone about our conspiracy against the government, please.
What conspiracy?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, like I'm glad to be back running this for you guys, and um I'll definitely, put me in touch with the
Other player, yeah.
person who's interested in playing.
We'll
Yep,
do that pretty much like right after the session. So
awesome. But yeah, I, I realize, yeah, this is just a lot of talking and planning, and I do know that after like this, this arc in the United States, it will be the end of the campaign, because I feel it's just like the natural end of
yeah.
this Twilight 2000, but it's gonna be fun, hopefully for you
Something I just realized, depending on how
guys.
long this goes, you know how they advertised Operation Reset the module and how there could be potential mass combat rules?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what else is all in there, but I mean, potentially if there is obviously Gorham prioritizes diplomacy, but if there's potentially some sort of battle there, even if it's against like a battle with like the party, fighting against West's forces or something.
Yeah.
or like managing larger numbers of enemies against like larger numbers of allied characters, kind of thing.
I forget when that's supposed to come out.
Well, I mean, I know pre-orders are supposed to be delivered, I think, like this spring, but when exactly, I don't know.
Yep. I think I remember seeing something where I think one of the things that you could like besides the mass battles, I think you can actually like I think there's like a scenario play where you can actually like there's a scenario in it where it kind of like insinuates time travel or something. I remember seeing it was like really weird. I may be misremembering because given the state my brain is in, all the stuff is wonky and very funny. But but yeah, again, I hope you guys had fun. I know today was you know really short and kind of really disjointed, but yeah, we set the bedrock for what's hopefully a good like final arc of this wacky crew finally getting home, finding a new place that's safe, somewhat safe, minus the crazed Mormons, crazed rednecks, and the nation of Texas, which I need to flesh out more. But that's gonna be fun if you guys end up going down and dealing with the crazed hillbillies and the cold
Quick question
Bucky.
I have for Megas: are you going to basically play the same type of character as like a technician again?
I don't know.
Okay. Um, in that case, because I've kind of been meaning to do so anyway, Emily, am I able to bump up my tech skill?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, you're able to do that.
So actually, yeah, hold on. So what I might do is to go from yeah, so I think so D so it'd be 30 XP to go from nothing to B. If I decided to do that, but then again, I'm not sure if I will. I don't know what I'm going to spend my XP on because of my total XP. I mean, I have 34 currently, but my total is 220.
It reminds me of this one campaign I was in. By the time it ended, I had like the total XP I'd earned was almost 100. It was a long, long campaign. But
A bad habit of hoarding XP.
I know. I know you
mhm.
do. Yeah, I'm wondering should or maybe close combat. I don't know. Yeah, for now, if Ray is
Oh,
potentially leaving, I'll
Blitz,
just
you're
bump
gonna
up Tech B.
Hmm?
are you gonna be able to make it tomorrow, Blitz, for Underworld?
I certainly intend to. There's nothing I'm aware of right now that would be getting in the way, except for the
You're gonna walk into a shit show. That's all I'll tell you.
oh